Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
What's the word, chat?
Let's go.
What's up?
Payday, bitch.
Appreciate everybody's time today, man.
Sure.
I got some new sauce for the gang, man. Exclusive. This is not I'm gonna tell you something, bitch. If somebody fucking finds me the same shit that we got on YouTube anywhere, I got 1,000 cash right now. Start. But if you don't, you gotta pay me a rack. Some sauce for that ass. I'm gonna tell you, bitch. So the whole thing is this, look. How do we make trading easy and fun? For me, it's more about taking as much of the emotion out of it. Well, let me put it this way. It's not about taking the emotion out of it. It's about not letting your emotions control you. You being able to control your emotions and manage your emotions. Before the trade, during the trade, after the trade, right? And I've always kind of been obsessed with like psychology and like how the mind works and stuff like that. Colors, visuals, things like that, right? And when you tie that in together with money, that's when shit starts to get a little kind of interesting. You know what I'm saying? So this is the lab. We're in the lab right now. Right now I got TrendGlow in the background. This is TrendGlow V2. Right now we're on the 15-minute time frame. It's very easy to kind of visually understand where we are and where price is. You can kind of choose whatever theme you want to choose here, right? So you could do neon cyber if you want to do, you know, your traditional like green and red. Right now I'm running the the Haikanashi candles. Again, for visual reasons. It basically kind of it smooths out the noise, so the trends are a lot cleaner. And when momentum fades, it starts kind of showing up with the wicks on both sides. Now there's a trade-off about using these candles because it's not real price. It's just like it's the open and the close averaged. So that's why I paired up with the indicators, right? Because that's what it gives me the real levels and the real signals, while I keep the clean visual. And by the way, these aren't like generic scripts. It's not like dropping an RSI or like a random support and resistance tool on your chart. Every indicator has Aura lock, so it's going to pull from a higher time frame so that your levels and that your signals stay stable. They don't jump around every candle, so it's built as a system. You got direction, levels, structure, entries, they all work together. So same theme, same design, everything matches. So you're not stacking random tools, you're running the full framework and the full system, right? With custom settings and stuff like that. On top of that, the indicators talk to each other. So these indicators actually talk to each other. All of these talk to each other. When you're slapping on any random indicators, they don't talk to each other, right? So like if you put a moving average or RSI on your chart, they're not going to communicate to each other. That doesn't exist. That's kind of, it's up to you. It's like a manual thing you have to do. And so, which is why I built all this, because again, I remember there used to be a time where we used to wake up 30 minutes, an hour before market opens just to draw, just to do an analysis on your chart. I'm talking about lines, boxes, Fibonacci, you gotta find. It was like a whole, you really had to get into it, right? And so with this, it kind of does take a little bit away of the kind of like the art of trading, but this is like a different art. I call this printing money. You get what I'm saying? This is like a printing money art. So this is what we're doing. We're going to be printing money with these tools. And so the first one that we're going to be looking at is going to be the TrendGlow. I'm going to put the plasma just because I like how the plasma looks. So with this script, this has an aura lock on it, which basically it pulls the lines from the higher time frames, and depending on what time frame you're on, right, that you do the lock from, that's where it's going to pull the signal from. But it's going to keep the visual clean on your chart, so that again, going back to the days when we used to do things manually, it was always, let me go to the 4-hour time frame, draw my 4-hour box. Okay, let me go down to the 2-hour, draw my 2-hour box. Now I have to manually label everything. You get what I'm saying? It was just so tedious. It took a lot of effort, like way too much effort. So with this, everything is super simple. If we're looking at the TrendGlow and we want to see what the trend is looking like from the 45-minute time frame, we could flip it to there. But guess what? We're not on the 45-minute time frame. We're on the 15-minute time frame. You see what I'm saying? If you go to the 45-minute time frame, this is what it looks like, right? Just a regular, right? But I don't trade. I'm not using the 45-minute to trade. I'm doing scalps and intraday trade. I'm not trying to be on the charts 4 hours a day, 45 minutes a day. You get what I'm saying? So with this, we can lock it to the 15-minute to get the visual from the 45, the higher time frame, right? But we're on the lower time frame, and we're taking our entries on the lower time frame. So that's super neat too as well. You also have a veil on here, customizable. So if I move this values up, you're gonna see the veil around the trend line get wider. Some of the ways that you can use this veil, right? Again, everything is visual for me, right? So I like to look at patterns. I try to find the patterns in different things, right? So even if we were to, let's say, put that to 55, we can kind of use that veil as like a support and resistance, as a chop zone, right? So just imagine that anytime that price is inside that veil, it's moving sideways, kind of like how it is right here. But anytime it's breaking below, right, and actually holding, and you can see with the Heikin candles the trend, we can see, okay, actual direction of what price is doing here, right? And again, something to keep in mind, guys, we're not trading, for me personally, again, this is I built this for me, the way I trade. You get what I'm saying? Like, certain indicators, everything that I found, it just doesn't exist. So I had to create something that was custom to how I see the market, what I'm looking at, with the time frames, with the settings and stuff like that, right? Everything is hard coded into these scripts, so you don't have to, they're plug and play. You don't have to worry about trying to tweak settings or this and that. I'm just showing you a couple things that you can tweak, fine tune to your style, while you're back testing it, while you're playing with it. You see what I'm saying? And again, part of that is specific time windows that I know that price likes to move, right? Everybody knows price likes to move at 8:30. Everybody knows price likes to move at 9. Everybody knows price likes to move at 9:30. Everybody knows that the reversals start from from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. That's when they start, right? The real move usually comes around 10:45 between 15-minute intervals. Price likes to move at the last 15 minutes of the last hour of every hour. That's when the price actually starts to move, right? So over here, what time is it? 10 o'clock. See? 10 o'clock, 10:15, 10:30, 10:45, 11. Reversal. Boom. Straight down. So all of these things are built into the script to basically just visually give you the biggest advantage that you possibly can to maximize on getting the best possible sniper entry that you can with the best risk to reward ratio. Okay? And again, when we're talking about risk to reward ratio, we're talking about if you feel a little uncomfortable getting into a trade, you're a little uneasy, like psychologically and emotionally, you over leveraged. So whatever that number was or that lot size is, cut it in half. It's just very plain and simple. Cut it in half. If it's a 2 lot, go 1 lot. If it's a 5 lot, go 2 lot. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind, guys. What else we got here? We got the ATR, right? Now, another cool thing that I want to talk about here, because there's a couple ways that you can play with this on your charts visually, okay? And it's very important. We're about to go over this in detail. We have something called candle coloring over here. If we were to, it's off right now. If we do a high time frame bias candle coloring, it's going to give us the coloring of whatever the high time frame bias is on our charts, right? Now, if we do a confirm bias, it's going to give you the colors of the candles strictly based off of where they are in relation to the trend line, right? Which means if we're above the trend line, the candles are blue. You can see the momentum here with the bullish from huge bullish clear break right here of the trend line at 4:30, entering Asian session, right? On Tuesday, this just a couple days ago. We come here, what did I tell you? From 10 to 11, that's when the reversals start, guys. These are magic windows that we can use. Boom, reversal. Now we're into what? London session. What time does London move? 1 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock. What time is it now? 2:30. What time is it now? 3 o'clock, 3:30. Huge, right off of the trend line right here. But guess what? Look at the candles that were inside the veil during that time. You see how it was moving sideways here? We could even get more, we could even get scientific with this shit, right? We could get real detail with it. This is why I'm trying to spend a little time to show you guys really how powerful these tools are, because if we come here to the settings and we go back to the ATR, right? And we're taking a look at this area specifically, just to give you an example, right? We could play with an idea that, hold on, we got a perfect respect on our TrendGlow. It is, I can see it wicking the veil. Let me play with this a little bit. Let me make this a little wider, right? I could play with it like, okay, I'm not gonna enter a buy until price closes outside of my veil. That could be one of your trading rules of an idea of how you could use this tool, right? So you can customize the veil, let's say to this right here. And let's say if you were trading London session, for example, you already knew that it was inside the window. And if not, you know now, it rejected our TrendGlow line right here. I'm trying to pull this bitch down a little bit. right? And from this point on, the hardest part about being a trader sometimes is just waiting. Because sometimes what will happen is price will come down to your area of interest and you're like, okay, perfect, this is my opportunity to get in, right? But what happens is it'll just keep going down, 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 and then you blow your account. Instead of waiting for the wick rejections to close, for your candle closes, to really give price an opportunity to let it show you its hand on what it wants to do for that day, for that time window, for that session, right? And then from there, you could use like a veil, for example, and be like, okay, I got my rejection here. That's one candle, 215, another rejection here. Okay, wait a minute, that got my attention. I got two rejections here. Now I can start thinking about, okay, I think I might go long here for the next 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, right? But as an extra, because what happens is, look, this candle came up here and was wicking the veil. This could have easily just wicked a couple times and boom, dumped out. But no, what happened? At exactly 3:45, what did I tell you? The last 15 minutes of every hour, we're gonna get a significant play in what price wants to do. And the scripts know that, by the way. All these scripts have specific time windows built into it, so they know that. So we get this beautiful close right here at 3:45. Perfect. Enter our buys, and we could have just capitalized. If we were to target the most obvious recent liquidity level. I'm just giving you an idea on a way that you can look at this and maybe use it and apply it to your charts, right? If you were trading at that specific time, right? But we're not trading at that specific time. We're trading at what time? 9:30. 9 in the morning, 9:30, right? Same thing here. It's pretty easy, guys. I mean, once you see the patterns and you kind of start seeing shit, it really kind of comes. It's just automatic, right? I'm gonna give you guys some extra sauce here. There's three main sessions in the market, right? We got Asian session, London session, and New York. You can trade whatever you want. I like to trade New York because I like to be asleep at 4 in the mornings sometimes, right? But we're focused on that like 8 o'clock, 8 in the morning until 11, 12 p.m. That's really the window that we could really get some real action. Pay attention to this here very, very closely, because this is not going to be something that's in the script. Well, it is in the scripts, but not in the settings. Let's go back to our regular candles just for the sake of this example. Can anybody tell me what time Asian range starts and ends? Hello? Anybody in this bit?
I'm here 5 to 8. You hear me? I don't know if you can hear me with this thing.
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Asian range?
Like, I think it's 6 to 2.
No, Asian range is 9 to 12 at night. Our time.
Oh, okay, yeah, because you're in central. You're central, right? Okay, yeah, you're on a different time zone. So over here, Eastern time, the core session starts at 7 p.m. That's the core session, and it usually ends bleeding. It ends
At 11. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say 4 a.m. We're talking about Asian range, Asian session, right? Because you have the different sessions that kind of bleed and mix into each other, and we get in on trades inside of those mixes, right? So like London session ends, you know, when New York begins, and then we have pre-market New York, and so in those windows we can kind of catch some of the volatility that is being mixed between sessions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
So over here,
I thought London closed, well, Europe, London closed like 11, 10 or 11, depending on the time forward or backwards.
yeah, it could be that. You get what I'm saying? The thing is there's no real like law, right? Everything is kind of like a guideline. So sometimes we get a move at 9 o'clock. That was the main move. Sometimes we get the move at 9:30. Sometimes we get the move at 8:30. That was the main move. Sometimes it was 8 o'clock. The other day, this happened at 7 in the morning. You get what I'm saying? Like, and so those are kind of just like rough guidelines, right? But there's main windows that the institutions operate from. And so like for New York, it's 9 to 11.
9 to 12.
It's 9 to 11. For London, right? You have your 1 to 3 window and your 3 to 5 window. So each
3
session,
to 5.
you have your for example, like if you ever hear me say something like a session, New York A session, right? Is like I'm talking about from like 9 to 10, and then from 10 to 11 is like B session, right? So it's like you're half and half, right? And so in this example here, I like to use vertical lines to kind of map out my 9 in the morning, right? Even before price gets here, I always kind of put a vertical line at 9 o'clock so I can kind of see where my session is beginning, right? My session is beginning when I'm starting the window where I'm really looking to catch catch a trade. Now, the different sessions, right? Over here, I'll use a box. The way you want to look at it, right, is you're going to map out your Asian session, London session, and you kind of want to see where you're at, right? So just imagine that we mapped out our Asian session here. This is the low and the high of Asian range, right? Just to give you an example. And we're inside our New York window, which is 9 to 11. Is right here. What happened? Right? Like what happened before this point? What is price telling us that's happening, right? Just from this snapshot really quickly, you can identify different areas of liquidity. And the way I kind of identify liquidity is I just see this big old wicks. Anytime you have these big old wicks here, look. When you have like wicks that are bigger than the actual body of the candle, that's usually a good indication of, okay, there's some liquidity here. Right? Anything like over here, these are different pools of liquidity. Now, again, not everything is going to be perfect every single time in the market, right? But there are certain patterns that you can kind of look for and kind of get good at reading, right? We're kind of doing a bit of a deep dive here, guys. When you draw your trend lines, you want to kind of draw your trend lines where it's touching as many points as possible. And again, not everything is going to be perfect every time, right? But you could get close. You could get very close, right? When you see these trend lines and stuff like that, you can kind of see how price is kind of telling a story, right? It's stepping down, kind of like, you know, stairs or ladder or whatever. It's stepping down, and we can see it's consistently tapping this angle of a line, whatever, 45-degree angle line, right? It's consistently tapping that until we get a break. Remember, ironically, what candle is that? The 345 candle. It's the 345 candle that ironically breaks our trend line. And we get this massive impulsive move to the upside here. Rejection. 530. We come back, we feel the imbalance, right? There's an imbalance here that we feel. Or FVG, whatever you want to call it. It's an area of interest. We feel our FVG imbalance here. We're moving sideways here. Finally break out of that bit. Pre-market, real pre-market, which is 7. And what happens at 8 o'clock? What did I tell you? Price likes to move at those 30 minutes, hourly, 15-minute intervals. And especially at the last 15 minutes of every hour. So if you're patient enough, you could really get good at positioning yourself to kind of catch these moves, right? So what happened? We took liquidity here. There was liquidity here, see? The little area that we highlighted before. There was liquidity there. We swept that liquidity, and we dumped it straight down. Yo, somebody, can you mute your mic real quick, bro? Somebody's mic is unmuted.
My bad, bro.
You're good. And so remember, guys, we're trying to read the story of what price is telling us. So we swept liquidity up here, dumped it straight down. What time is it now? 8:15, 8:30. Ironically, once again, at 8:30, we get a move, which happens to be a reversal. Right? But the interesting part about it is if we were to flip this whole shit around and draw our sell trend line, with these multiple zones touching, right? We can see what happened. 8:15, we broke through with a very strong bearish momentum impulsive candle that closed through to the downside. Why? Because we were hunting liquidity. We were hunting liquidity from London session. Liquidity likes to print at previous day levels, previous day lows, mids, highs. But it also likes to print at previous session lows, previous session mids, previous session highs, not just days, right? And this is when we start kind of getting a little bit more detailed and intricate on how the market really works. So we get our break here. Everybody knows, wait for the what? Break and retest. But where do we retest? Where's the retest? How do we know where the retest is, right? Because we have a trend line, we got liquidity, we got colors, we got a bunch of shit going on. I don't know where to look. You want to look for the highest low before price broke your trend line, your structure, your low. What does that look like? It looks like this wick right here at 7:45. You see how we're in a trend line going up like this? And so if we were to delete this and move to a lower time frame, we could get even more detail, right? This whole trend was an uptrend until it wasn't. And that until it wasn't moment is right here. But what about before, right? What was our highest low before the move? Right here. This wick right here was the last low. Highest low, that is. See? Right here? On the 5 minute, that is. On the higher time frames, it's a little different. But any of these levels right here are all potential sell areas that price could come back and respect. What time is it? 8:45. Let's see what 9:30 gives us, right? This whole area is an imbalance area. The reason why this is an imbalance or FEG or whatever you want to look at it or call it is because you see this big old impulsive candle right here? Candles like to kind of fill each other. They like to fill each other out before big moves and stuff like that. And when they don't fill each other out and we just have one big ass move like this, it leaves these gaps in wicks on both sides of the candles. So this green bullish little doji before that red impulsive move, it left the wick right here. Now normally we would get another candle. Let's say this one closed over here on this thing, right? Normally we would get another candle, and the wick of that candle would be almost parallel, right, to the other wick. And then the body and stuff like that, and it would just keep moving and stuff. But in this case, guess what? We didn't get none of that. So we really just left this big ass open space between the previous candle before the impulsive move and the next candle after the impulsive move. There's a big gap here that was left. This big bar, the body in between these two wicks touching is our imbalance. This space in between, it's kind of like no man's land, right? There's nothing going on between on either side. It's just space, right? That's how fast and manipulated the market is. Your $1,000, my $1,000 ain't moving the market this hard, which means that there was a shit ton of contracts and orders injected into price to make it fall that hard, which left an imbalance, a gap, an FEG, whatever you want to call it, on this time frame right here. So what do? We have to highlight that. And with this zone going into our session, we can kind of see, okay, we do have an imbalance here. We could get some potential rejections, right? We could get some potential liquidity sweeps. Let me just watch out. Let me kind of look at this area as a potential area of interest for me to try and catch these continuations of the trend line break and retest. So I kind of just wanted to touch a little bit on some manual stuff, just to maybe hopefully teach somebody in the chat, you know, a couple things here and there. But that's not necessarily what the call is about. What the call is about is the AuraBot script. So we got our TrendGlow. Now we have our AI smart zones, right? And so what the AI smart zones are gonna do for you is basically the smartest support and resistance tool on the market. It's got the exact same stuff. And again, all these scripts talk to each other. It's basically, if we take a look, right, if we go back in time, just to give you an example, we're gonna go to the 15-minute chart. I like to use, on most of these scripts, I like to use on the 15-minute chart to give me the best visual representation of which walls and support and resistance and areas that I'm going to be looking to place my trade, right? So these are very important key visuals to have on your chart automatically every day that you wake up in the morning, right? You don't have to draw a single box or none of that stuff. Everything kind of is right in front of you. So same thing, you have your matching themes, right? Custom labels, sizes and things like that. You know, you could play with it, fit it on your chart however you want to do it. It's got the same Aura lock on it, which is exclusive to, this is an exclusive feature to AuraBot. And something that I'm very proud of is the Aura AI Smart Zone Auto Detect. So this is going to activate AuraBot's proprietary AI engine to dynamically score and rank the zones by strength in real time, powered by multi-layer structural analysis, right? Higher time frame, combining the 2-hour with the 3-hour to get the closest zone touch. If both of those zones are the closest, then we're going to use that zone as the primary. You get what I'm saying? If we were to turn this off, look what happens. The zones lose their glow. Their zones lose a little bit of their relevance, right? That's why we want to make sure we have this on. Don't get me wrong. It's very very important, but guess what? Take a look at the right side over here. When I put this on here, Smart Zone Auto Detect, it's gonna give me a 2x or 3x, meaning that these specific zones have a 3x multiplier on them, making them 3 times more valid, 3 times stronger, 3 times more powerful for a potential reaction or rejection in the zone. Okay, so keep that in mind. What else we got here? We got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff in here. They flip color, right? So let's go ahead and just play it so we can see how these kind of act. I'm on the 15-minute time frame, but I'm going to be using 3 times replay speed, and I'm going to be using a 5-minute update interval, just to kind of give me a little bit more of a fast bar replay, but kind of like realistic to kind of see how the candles are actually moving within 5-minute intervals inside of each 15-minute candle as they print out. What time is it right now? 8:45, 9 o'clock. We're going into our session here. We got our sweep. It's on the zone here on the right. It's giving us our touch count. We got 8 touches, 5 sweeps here, and a 3x multiplier, giving us huge confidence to take these buys at those particular moments for that particular session. Then what happens? 11 o'clock comes around, our reversals straight down, back to our second leg of our W, leading into huge buys going into the next zone. We got 4 touches here so far, 2 sweeps, and a lot of confidence to take these sales. let's see what happens next. Our zones update in real time, giving us the exact information we need to make that decision. Multiple sweeps here, double top here after liquidity sweep, indication here highlighted in these glowing orbs here, and a beautiful, beautiful sale right there right after. So let's go ahead and mark our 9 o'clock, right? We're entering into the next day. We're going into the next day, and we mark and we highlight our vertical candle, line here in white, and we kind of see what information we're getting from the indicator. Keep in mind the times, keep in mind the visual. See, we get a zone flip here. Zone flip indicating the bias changed, and now instead of looking for buys, we're looking for sells going into our particular session. Again, these tools are maximized for New York session. They work on any session, but I got extra sauce to make these tools extremely way more powerful and accurate going into New York session. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. What would it look like if we were to combine these, right? That's when you see the full story. We're not gonna combine them yet, though. This is gonna be one of my favorite tools, actually, in the arsenal. This is called AuraBot Gravity Zones, V2. Let's take a look at some of the settings that we have in V2, right? Let's go back in time, actually, and randomly just pick anywhere in price. Very easy to trade these. You're just trading from zone to zone here. That's it. Nothing special. I'm gonna change the colors of my candles real quick. So we're trading this from zone to zone. You can use this as a breakout indicator. You trade it from zone to zone. This whole black area in between right here, that's no man's land. You don't want to take any trades there. The tighter the zones are, the closer the zones are to each other, the less strength that it has. The further away the zones are, the more powerful the zones are, okay? So keep that in mind. Right now we're in between zones, and so we have this is called the midfield line. Wherever price currently is in between zones, that's the halfway mark between zones, right? So sometimes we'll get those rejections and those reactions inside the midfield line, as you can see right here. So again, you could use this kind of like as an indication of, okay, confidence, right? So let's say your TP was down here. If it hits here, you know you can expect maybe a small retrace. You don't have to freak out, right? You don't have to freak out before it actually continues, right? That could be an idea of how you could use that or implement that. or use it as a stop loss or TP or whatever, right? Get creative with it. So same as the other tools that we have in our arsenal library. I don't know what's up with the music, man. Shit just got really dark here, bitch. We might have to what kind of tempo is this, bitch? Nah, I fuck with it. It's cool. Check this out. See how the zones are flipping and changing color for the bias? You see how it broke out of this zone, came, played with the midfield line, and went straight to the other zone, TP. Then we even got a small rejection straight to the mid line, went straight back up. It was blue, then it changed the bias color. Now it's breaking out the bottom. Boom, straight to the other zone. But wait, there's more. What time is it? Oh, you already know what time it is. 9 o'clock. 9:30. Perfect rejection off our zone. Straight to the TP between zones. Now, sometimes you will get these. Again, these are all smart support and resistance. Moving average combined with certain visuals and a bunch of other stuff. That these levels, you can trust these levels. These are real levels that you can really make genuine plays from, right? Whether they're a buy or a sell depends on what the story of the candle, what they're saying. So let's see here. We're about to go into our 9 o'clock session right now. Let's see what we get here from these zones. Look at this. $8.45, 9, 9:30, perfect rejection off our midline. It tells you the price. It gives you the exact price right here in yellow. Our candles are already changing color. Straight down. So there's like a couple plays that you can kind of use this with, right? But it's up to you really kind of just back test everything. This has the aura lock on it. This is on the 4-hour aura lock. I like the 4-hour. To me, it's the strongest that I found. You could play with it too as well. This is the visual lock that the zones are pulling from the 4-hour. You do have a gradient fill in between zones. So neutral zones, some extended glow nearest to the next zone. And that's pretty much it. That's the gravity zone. So we can see here, if we let it play, how it reacts to price, what it's telling us, what the story is kind of doing. See, we got the zones moving up here. We got some bullish momentum. Stepping into our London session. We're either going to break through or reverse now. Beautiful reversal. And look what happens. Straight from zone to zone. And remember what I told you, right? The bigger the gap between the zones, the more weight that the zones carry, so you can kind of trust that zone more. If it's really breaking through this zone and there's that big of a gap between the next POI, man, this move's got some momentum. It's got some volume. We definitely want to pay attention to that.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. So this has more has a bullion tracker on it too as well, right?
You could call it that.
Okay.
Volume is part of what drives the engine. Let's just say that. You get what I'm saying? But it's not only volume. It's a lot of other factors. Right? So that's the gravity zone. I love the gravity zone. That's one of my favorite tools. So you can pair the TrendGlow with the gravity zone, works good. All of these you can pair together, right? So if we go into the next one right here, this one's called the Cyberstructure. This is one of the new ones that we just dropped, I think this week or last week. So when you first load Cyberstructure onto your charts, something you're gonna notice in the settings is this area right here. This is I want you guys to go in and play with it. Try to come up with some good values we could use, because man, this is like a freaking, this is like you taking a Lamborghini to the shop and throwing it on the dyno and fine tuning that bit. It's just a well-rounded oil smooth machine, bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this thing is insane. I'm gonna uncheck show both channels. Okay, so what we're looking at right now is one channel. We're looking at the 30-minute channel, but we're on the 15-minute time frame. I'm gonna say that one more time. The visuals from this channel are locked from the 30 minutes. If we were to change this to the 15-minute, let's see what it does. You see? Now we're looking at a 15-minute channel. This is the 15-minute channel. If we lock it to the 30-minute channel, we're gonna see on a higher scale the trend channels of what price currently is doing, right? So we just switch it to the 30. This is what it gives us. Remember that trend line break thing that I was telling you about? This indicator actually gives you buy and sell ideas. So you have buy and sell ideas here too as well, in different areas that you can kind of like use to, you know, retest and stuff like that. These little boxes, when you get a sell area, the box draws, you kind of want to wait for a retest. So you get your box drawing. Right? That could be it's just an idea of how you can use it. Same thing with buys. And again, don't over leverage. You know, I know it's exciting to have these tools in our library and, you know, be super confident and kind of be a little trigger happy and be like, fuck it, I'm throwing an extra lot on today or two. You get what I'm saying? Like, but you know, we got to remember that building wealth is not the lottery. You get what I'm saying? There's a reason why a lot of the lottery, they go broke. The lottery winners, they go broke. They're not capable. They're not able to handle that amount of wealth. They can't handle that amount of wealth gracefully, right? Because number one, I guess you could say they earned it because it's, you know, it was designed near their time in their timeline or whatever. But you know, they didn't work. They didn't physically have to put in work to gradually gain that wealth, right? And so I'm saying all this to say, when you're compounding wealth, it's really a slow process. It's not a get rich quick overnight thing, right? You could hit, you know, it's a lot of money, like $400, $500, $1,000 here, $1,500 there, 20 days out of the month. Like that's a lot of money for a lot of people, right? But that's not the end goal. The end goal is way more than that, right? But comfortably, that's a very comfortable life. And so when we know that and we have that in the back of our mind, it's very easy to get excited and to over leverage, right? And so I just want to remind you guys once again, trade responsibly, be disciplined, don't over leverage, okay? Because it's better to make, you know, 2K in 1 week than to make 2K one day, 1,500 the next day, and then blow your whole shit the next day. You get what I'm saying? Because you got excited or you didn't follow your max daily loss rule. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. But getting back to the channel, right? So we're looking at the 30-minute channel, but we're inside the 15-minute time frame. If we go to the 30-minute time frame, this is what the 30-minute channel looks like on the 30-minute time frame. All of these channels are smart, right? So whenever price like breaks above, the whole channel is going to turn blue. When it breaks below, it's going to turn red. When it's in between, you have your split layer multicolor. That's what it looks like on the 30-minute. If we go to the 15-minute again, while still having the 30-minute channel lock, and we go back into the settings, and then we go to show both channels, it's gonna give me the channel that of the time frame that I'm on, and it's gonna give me the 30-minute channel. So now I have a multi-time frame smart matrix cyber channel giving me insane insight into what structure's doing, right? What areas of the channels and walls to look out for, specifically inside my time window. So we're gonna go back in time here and just run it real quick. On the 15-minute with the 30-minute channel lock, running dual channels. And we want to kind of pay attention to how it behaves when it gets close to our session. So let's go ahead and highlight our session. In this case, it was right here. We're going to go to the next day. And also, these channels, look at this. So you see we're inside the channel, but we're inside the buy zone. And as soon as we went through and we went below it, it flipped to a red, indicating, okay, sales. Boom. So right here where my line is right here is 9 o'clock. What's gonna happen? What do you think is gonna happen here? I didn't see that much red. I saw a lot of blue going into the session. I don't know about you guys. Right, so we're in a downtrend. We're above, channel turned blue. Boom. So the channels, like, they interact with each other. Also, the channel is gonna lean before like a movement or a break or retest. And what I mean by it's gonna lean towards a bias, meaning that the colors are gonna get brighter as it gets closer to the time of the move, like it's about to either break or reject. The colors of the channels of the walls and stuff like that, they actually get brighter. I don't know if you notice it. Another cool thing that this has that's built into the engine is it's kind of got like a magnet, like a weighted lock. So it's gonna kind of detect the most touched, kind of like the trend lines that I drew earlier manually. It's gonna detect the most touched trend lines, and it's gonna use like previous day mids, lows, and highs as a magnet as well sometimes. if it's close to the pre-drawn lines of the channel that were already drawn, just to get a more accurate angle of the channel. See? See how we're like in a buy channel right here? And then we went crazy on buys. And again, you don't have to use the dual lock. You don't have to use the dual lock. You can use one channel. See, look right here. We broke and then we sold right there. You could just use one channel and stick to your smaller time frame, but use a higher time frame channel as your main move, right? You could do that as well. And so that way, because I know how sometimes it can kind of get a little confusing and stuff like that with the channels. Just remember that the dotted line channel is the one that you're currently on your time frame, and then the one that's got the straight lines, that's the lock that you're using. So the lock is your main channel that you're referencing, and your dotted channel is the one that, you know, you can kind of use as a second confluence. So we can see here super clean, like the channel's reacting, it's flipping biases, price is reacting off of it, it's breaking back into the channel a little bit. Are we gonna get a real break or no? As we go into New York session, we get our sell signal, we sell, it bounced off the bottom of the channel as we're in an uptrend and bought back up. Came back to the channel right there, sold again, and now we're gonna see what happens if we kind of combine everything together here. By the way, this little 45-minute bias, this is following TrendGlow. So we're gonna highlight our next day here upcoming. And we're gonna see where we are in relation to what we see on the screen. Find a little support here. 45-minute bearish bias. A beautiful liquidity sweep. And you see how we get with the 45-minute bullish bias flip, we're breaking outside of the channel. The candles are flipping colors. We're about to go into London session right now. We could get a London reversal or a continuation. Coming back to our smart zone right here and our bottom of our channel. Inside the aura gravity zone in the middle. What do you know? Everything's flipping. Beautiful. By the way, I don't think we I don't think we tweaked any settings. The only thing that we really tweaked is the color on everything, and maybe we threw up the Aura Veil ATR on the TrendGlow to like 68 or something like that. But everything else is pretty much plug and play. One thing to keep in mind is in the settings here for Cyberstructure, what I told you before, the higher time frame channel lock. You could do a 1 hour channel too. And then you get the 1 hour channel. Right? That gives you more of like a broader, more valid visual perspective on the market. I like to use higher time frames, like 45, 1 hour. The gravity zones I use 4 hour, and all these are already built into it, so it already comes preset on every single indicator. You guys have them on your charts already, so I'm sure a few of you already been kind of playing and stuff like that with them. The last thing I kind of want to show you guys is this upcoming script that I'm gonna be dropping. You guys still here with me?
Yup, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bet. Appreciate the patience, man. I know it's been a marathon, but this is some sauce, man. This is the real sauce here. This is something that obviously is not released. This is the AuraBot hologram candle. This is the V8. No, this is not the first version, so if that tells you something, a nigga really been cooking in this bit. You get what I'm saying? So let me show you something, man. This is some sauce for you. So this is gonna be releasing soon. I got a couple things that I'm finalizing and tweaking. This is over 3,000 lines of code in just this script alone. So we're really pushing TradingView's limits with this one, to be honest. Actually the max, you can't really push it anymore unless you split scripts and you divide everything. But then that makes it more difficult with the engine of the script to communicate with each other. It's a whole nother challenge, but we've overcome every single challenge so far, and we're gonna continue to. So look at this shit. This has hologram candle projection, so you really can trade like you see in the future. You got multi-time frame bias meter at the bottom right as you're entering your session, and you have a forecast HUD panel here to your left. And what the projection hologram candles do, there's really nothing like this. Well, there is nothing like this that exists. The reason why I even built this is because I'm a very visual person, like I keep saying. I like to kind of see things before I do them, right? So like, when it comes to like visualization, things like that, like I like to visualize myself doing whatever it is that I'm trying to do or accomplish in my life before I actually do it. So, that looks like a lot of the time that kind of looks like just sitting down thinking a lot of the times, right? But when it comes to trading, visualization for me looks like trying to imagine what it would look like in the next hour, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, what the next 20 candles are going to look like, right? So I really wanted to create something that gave me a visualization and of the future, basically, right? Of what I can kind of expect price to do. But not only that, but also give me a huge advantage and a huge read on where am I going to put my stop loss, right? This is the hologram candle projection right here. This is giving you like a forecast path, a realistic forecast path with realistic wicks and stuff like that. Everything is, these hologram candle projections, they're reading over 44 different mechanics in the scripts. I'm talking about walls, break of structure, momentum, volatility, time of the day, liquidity. Just in the liquidity alone is like so much stuff that we built into this script. It's got so much shit. But let me go ahead and play it for you guys. And again, it's basing everything off the channels and everything like that. So we're gonna see what happens here. As the script's moving. Another cool thing I want to mention too while that's playing is you have two options for your hologram candles. You have to show both directions, or you have your favored to only show your favored path, right? So for the hologram candles, if you only wanted to show the favored side, your favored bias, it's going to only show you your favored bias. Let that bitch load real quick. So now we're only getting our favored bias here. See? So you can kind of see where price is going to kind of reject, or we're going to get some rejections, where it's going to respect. And it's telling you all this stuff. It's telling you where it's even rejecting off the midline and stuff like that. So predicted the buys, predicting the sells, and it's moving with real time. So it's calculating in real time. You got channels inside different channels. You see the flip? It's been looking like it's been wanting to sell this whole time. We got our sell, then look, change your character right here, the line's right there. There's so much shit in this fucking script, bro. It's literally insane. I mean, I'm sure some of you guys have studied ICC, smart money, I mean market maker strategies, liquidity sweeps, reversals. I mean, basically this has everything. There's just a couple things I want to kind of tweak and stuff like that before we drop it, but this is coming soon, and I wanted to kind of give you guys a sneak peek Let's play this bit real quick though. I want you guys to kind of think about it like this, right? When you see, like, let me try to catch a good example here. Let me try to catch a good example here. Okay, so like something like this, right? This could just be an example of how you could use the hologram candles to kind of map out your entries after everything else lines up, right? Where in the projection can I enter that I'm going to get the least drawdown? That's the question. That's the question that you have to ask and answer, right? Where here can we enter that I'm going to get the least drawdown? Right? Over here, right? Because if price just snaps back up like this, according to momentum and volume and stuff like that, this is kind of like the most likely path. And it even kind of tells you what time your trade is going to hit. So just keep in mind, remember, sometimes it takes 25, 35 minutes for it to even come up here, but you got the best entry down here. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, we got that in the works. We definitely got that in the works, chat. That's gonna be dropping soon. Look at this. Obviously, whole channel and stuff like that is red because huge sell-off just happened underneath the trend and stuff like that, and we're below it, but we just happen to be inside a smart zone, right? And technically the bottom of the channel. So if we do get those buys, right? If we do get those buys exactly like this, that is the most probable path because of the impulse of going back into everything that we've touched just right here. The thing is we probably need another liquidity sweep. Before we reverse, and it looks like it's doing that right now. Right? On top of that, it's bouncing off the midpoint of our gravity zone. You see? Looks like it's breaking through though. That's also, you also got the level right here on your right. So I want you guys to kind of think about it like this. Like, you use your TrendGlow as your direction, right? You use your smart zone and your gravity as your levels. And you can use your Cyberstructure for, obviously, your structure and your entries. And then when I drop this bit, then it's game over. What questions you guys got?
Yeah, so quick question. You can hear me?
Yes, sir. Who's talking
Okay,
right now?
so this is Parallel or Neo.
Oh, it's good, man.
What's good. So all the settings, they come, like, for example, the TrendGlow, because I have TrendGlow on my chart, I have Gravity Zone V2 on my chart. They all come settings just done, right?
Yeah, they all come plug and play. But there are a couple of tweaks that you can make, and there's always room for improvement.
Right. Okay.
So like here, for example, like Gravity Zone, right? So we're looking at we're Gravity Zone right now. You put it on your chart, it's gonna look exactly like this. The only difference is the color, right? The theme. Just change the theme. It's probably it's gonna come neon cyber, but whatever theme you want to do, man. Like however you want to do it, right? So that's kind of cool. And then down here, this already comes preset to the best time frame that I found that works, right? It doesn't mean that I've checked every single corner and crevice of, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff here that to learn and to master and to, right? It's an evolution. And so, yeah, there's really not that much settings to tweak, bro. Everything is already like hard coded into the script. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
So it's really all of these. It's plug and play. You could tweak a couple settings here and there. Like let's say if you wanted to do, instead of the 4-hour gravity zone, you wanted to do the 1 hour. You see? Changes.
One question: can you swing trade with this mod too?
Of course. I mean, brother, look at the channel walls. If you were to get into a channel wall sell here at, you know, whatever time, yeah, you could have swung this until it hit the other channel wall, right? And again, you want to use the visual cues of where are we in the trend, right? Your TrendGlow's direction, your Cyberstructure for entries, your gravity zones and your smart zones for your levels.
And that separation of the two zones to give you more confirmation that you can keep holding the trade
Exactly.
until it closes.
Exactly, right? Exactly.
That is insane.
I have a question. This is L. Davis.
Yo, what's good,
So,
man?
What's good, bro? There's a lot of indicators, a lot of information, you know. So, one, how many indicators should someone be running at any given time, not over processing, overthinking, and overanalyzing?
Absolutely.
You know, like someone who's a newbie to using your indicators, like is there like a step-up plan to like how you should engage in indicators to your
advantage.
trading plan?
Yeah, that's a
So
great.
like maybe start off with a Midas, and then what's the recoverability? I suggest you add this, and if you like to snipe, maybe this. Like so we have these cards of who we are, but how do we interject that with the indicators and not having too much information all at one time, or not enough on the flip side?
No, I totally get what you're saying, bro. And that's why I built these tools, right? So to take the overthinking out of it, right? And so me personally, since I'm creating these tools and I use everything, right? So I kind of just, I freestyle. I don't, you know what I mean? Like to me, it's for a beginner, again, bro, you could start with TrendGlow, slap it on your chart, get a general read of the trend, and then hide it, right? You could go to your smart zone, see where it is, and then hide it, right? You don't have to put all these all together all the time, right? You could mix and match, right? So I would probably run these three, the smart zones, gravity, and cyberstructure. That way it kind of gives you a pretty good read, a really good general read on, you know, the structure and what the market's doing, how it's moving. Very significant areas to look out for, areas of rejection. It even gives you information here on how many touches we got on this line. Remember, the more touches, the more valid that line is, especially if it doesn't get broken through. I'm talking about the smart zones here. And it has a liquidity sweep meter, so it tells you how many sweeps we actually have, right? So you want to wait at least until, you know, 1 or 2 sweeps before considering, you know, getting into an entry for sure. On top of that, these zones have that smart AI multiplier here. Remember the 3x here? And so if you come over here to the smart AI zones and you turn on the smart auto zone detect, that'll just give you like 10 times more confidence. Like, okay, these are valid zones. You see what I'm saying? But again, brother, not everything is 100%, right? Everything's kind of just like a guideline, right? To kind of tell you, you know, a pretty good, accurate representation of a general area of where price could react. So it's not like everything's not perfect. It's not gonna be like, yo, I'm specifically talking about these tools, by the way. We have more precise tools like the LSM, Midas Touch, and stuff like that. We have other things like that in our arsenal that are more specific to a specific type of trade, a specific pattern, a specific situation that has to happen in the market to get those signals. That's why those indicators are specialized tools, right? But if a beginner is just coming in and just starting out, these are the tools that I would recommend them to use. Absolutely, which would be these 3 right here. Really these 4, but these 3. You could cause a lot of damage and hurt a lot of egos with these 3 tools right here. The AI smart zones, gravity 2, cyberstructure, and like I said, for that general read, you don't have to keep it on your chart, but you could throw it on to get that general read of, okay, what side of the market we're on. Am I looking to buy or sell today? And then you have this multimeter on the bottom right. And what this multimeter is going to do is going to give you the trend direction of each time frame that you choose, right? You could choose different time frames. You could do 5 and 15, and it'll be added on here too as well. And it's going to give you the full read on the trend for those specific time frames, how price is moving, how it's trending. So you can kind of use these as like as a cluster or a gauge pre-market before you go into your session. That's why it's so important to not over leverage and to wait until your session starts, right? Before you enter a trade. So right here, it's 9 o'clock.
That makes sense. Appreciate that.
Yeah, look.
Thank you.
For sure. And by the way, it's you could always in the mornings just throw your idea in the chart. You get in the chat. I mean, we bounce ideas off of each other. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm still a student, brother. I wish I had everything figured out. I don't. You know, as much as it looks like I do, I don't. You get what I'm saying? I'm still human. I still have emotions. I still think about revenge trading. It's just that now I'm better at controlling those impulses, right? Delaying gratification, being more disciplined in trusting the plan of what the fuck I'm seeing here visually right in front of me. You get what I'm saying? So it's not, none of this is an accident, right? Everything is intentional, that, right? So when there's intention and God and great energy and vibes behind it, bro, The world is yours, my brother. And also, to finish answering your question, Davis, try them one by one, bro. Go through each one by one, right? And you can
I've been doing, man.
you can master one or two, bro. You don't have to use every single tool. It's just that we have a lot of shit to choose from, and when you find the 2, 3, or 4, or 1 or 2 or whatever that you're comfortable with, stick to those, bro. You get what I'm saying? You don't have to trade the same exact way as me every time. I don't have to trade exactly like you. It's even with the same tools, we'll trade differently, unless we're exactly in the same call. And even if we're on the same call, you get in at a different level than me. You get what I'm saying? So it's just a general. These are just general tools for us to use to get the most information with the least amount of effort, the fastest as possible as we humanly can. So I hope that made sense to you, bro.
That smart zone sounds like legit. I can use ICC on it too.
Oh, it's legit, dude. It's legit.
Yeah. ICC can be a working perfect break and retest.
Well, you don't have to be.
No, I just like.
I don't think you're gonna expect a big picture at the end.
Yeah, it's legit, bro. Trust me. And you can see here that these zones are actually brighter than this zone down here. So these are stronger. They have a multiplier on it. So basically, this is like the average of like the 1, 2, 3, 4, and a bunch of other shit like time frames that's giving us these zones, right? So it's not just a 1 time frame zone. This is a 3 multiplier on a different time frames and stuff like that of what price is doing. So just keep that in mind too as you're testing it. You see? Beautiful rejection here, a nice breakthrough. The color flip, and by the way, when the zones disappear, they're invalid. Like they're invalid, right? They might disappear a couple bars before the full move, but just keep that in mind too as well. And the colors on the zones, even if the zone is if price is underneath the zone, it's still gonna stay blue if we have a little bit of bullish momentum that still needs to be met per se, right? So which we got right here, and then we came back down here, a beautiful rejection. You don't have to overcomplicate anything, man. You really don't. When it gets to your zones, just wait for at least one liquidity sweep, right? You get this triangle, these little triangles that we get our liquidity sweeps and stuff like that, and there you go. So these are super valid zones, like super valid zones. Yeah, just practice with it, build your confidence, go through everything. You got everybody on the call has all the tools, so you can practice everything. I'll probably end up throwing this on YouTube. This whole call is recorded, by the way, so. Any other questions?
Nah, bro, perfectly explained. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't know you were recording, but I was recording that whole shit anyways.
There we go. We got the multiple POV, man.
Yeah, if you guys can resend me that video, because I have to rewatch because I was at work. That would be great so I can understand the entries. I know how to hold the trade with that, but I just need to understand a little bit more the entry.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll definitely send you the video, bro. Just give me a little bit of time to just upload it, make it clean, and then we'll have that on your desk first thing in the morning, brother.
Copy. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, chat. I really appreciate you guys, being a part of this journey and everything like that, man. I know, everybody kind of has their own thing going on with life, and life throws us a lot of different curveballs. But it's important to surround yourselves with people, like-minded individuals, people that are on the same path, same journey as you, wanting to aspire to do more, be great, and to help push and motivate each other to the next level. You get what I'm saying? Like, all of us have something special.
Amen, brother.
Amen. All of us have something special inside of us that, wants to come out. You get what I'm saying? And being able to eliminate money as a stress factor in your life, it opens a lot of doors, and it actually gives you clarity. It gives you clarity, and it makes your dreams and your goals and aspirations that much bigger, because you're not inside a little box. You're not operating out of survival, right? And when people operate out of survival, shit doesn't really tend to shake that good. You get what I'm saying? Like, momentum kind of slows down. You know, you're thinking out of a scarcity mindset. You know, you wake up in a funk. Like, that's not what we want to do, right? We want to wake up energized. We want to wake up excited. We want to wake up ready to go. You get what I'm saying? All these things, which actually brings me to the next level. Might as well just go over this real quick. Some other tools that we created here for everybody in the Academy. So, Aura Season Academy, you can come over here, log in. If you're a VIP member, you have your access code, and everything like that. So we jump into here. And so this is continuously being updated and stuff like that. I just added the Cyberstructure guide and everything like that, and it kind of tells you, again, if I'm not available, if I'm at the gym or whatever, and you need something real quick to kind of get a quick refresh, just head over here to the Academy, and it'll kind of tell you what you're looking at, right? So channel draw, right now this is for Cyberstructure. So right, so different color themes, different ways and different examples of how you can use these as entries. So this is a buy example, right? There's a couple different ways and plays that you can use this. This is the wall bounce entry example, and this is the breakout retest. And so remember, when it breaks out of the channel is going to change color, so it changes green. So we know, okay, now we're looking at some potential buys here if everything else matches up, right, with our analysis and stuff like that. So yeah, we got some cool stuff in the Academy. You can go through and do your profile too. It's just a kind of quick assessment that you can kind of take, right? Answer the questions. It's going to analyze your response. This is what L. Davis was talking about earlier, is your psychological trading profile. Yo, is my computer like dying? Why is it so slow right now? It's probably because of the recording. And then you open this up and you get your full operator dossier with your recommended indicators and stuff like that. Now, mind you, I haven't added the new stuff. The new stuff is just brand new. We just added this, but this is some of the other tools that we have in the arsenal and stuff like that. We got the mindset tab too as well. You can come over here and kind of do a quick mental check-in before every session. It's really just to stay disciplined and stuff like that, and a bunch of other cool stuff here that you could check out and stuff like that. Also, the momentum app, we have that built into it. This is one of my favorites as well. You can come over, and you could use this as a trade journal, as a life hack. You open this up, if you have any financial goals that you're trying to hit, right, your financial targets, you can come over here, write them out. Your health goals. It's super important, guys, to audit your life, audit your health, audit your spiritual, professional life, right? Things that you want to do, targets you want to hit, your identity, who you want to be, who you want to operate for the next 90 days, different pillars and stuff. These are some custom stuff I added just as a guide. So you can come over here to week. So today's Friday. We could get a snapshot of today, the day. Today, my primary intention is to be a disciplined trader, hit the gym, knock out all my goals, right? My power moves. What are my power moves? Write them out for the day, right? So if I have to create, 2 pieces of content, just to give you an example, right? Publish on all platforms. That's something that I know I have to do, right? For my life, for what I'm doing, right? Can't even spell today, but And then you can kind of grade them on how important they are. A tier, S tier, how important it is. S tier, right? That's for my career, that's for my growth, that's for my, you know, different tabs and stuff like that. You have an hourly planner here. What's one wealth focus income action that you're going to work on today? Did you work out today? How many hours of sleep did you get? Did you pray? Did you reflect? Something that you're grateful for? And then you can kind of grade yourself and grade your life. And this is how you keep track of who you are, who you're becoming, who you're meant to be, and who you're going to end up being eventually, and who you are, right? All these things, right? And then that way you can kind of get a snapshot. Okay, I might be, you know, my faith and my spirit is 100%, but my health might be a little low. My relationships might be a little low. I know I got to work a little bit more on my communication with my family. My purpose and everything might be good, right? That way you're living a more fulfilled, balanced life overall. Not just about trading, guys. I know that's the main thing and everything, but you know, your trading at the end of the day reflects who you are as a person outside of the charts. If you're not disciplined, if you're greedy, if you want to, impatient, all these things, they're going to reflect, right? And so you go through and you fill all these things out. Did you respond today? Did you react? Right? What was the lesson today? What triggered that? Then when you're done, you can activate your day as complete. It logs it, right? And then now, boom, now you're getting your momentum. That's why it's called the momentum app, because I want you guys to build that real positive momentum in your life. Whatever the fuck you guys want to do in your life, you could do it. Just set your mind, set your intention, pray, journal, right? You got your life journal here, spiritual, business journals. You have your different journals. If you're taking a trade, you can come here and log it, a full status report on everything, right? You have different pairs and stuff like that you're trading, the date. Today we went long, it's closed. I entered at this price, that price. I made this amount of money. You get what I'm saying? What was the setup, right? Was it a breakup? What breakout? What was it? What time frame did you trade on? And so when you treat your trading like a hobby, you're gonna get paid like a hobby. When you treat it like a professional, like a career, you're gonna get paid like a career, like a professional. People go to school for how long to become a doctor, a lawyer, a this or that? How much debt are they in when they come out? How much, right? And so how long does it take to, like, all these things, you know, you have to treat it like a professional, like a career, right? And so all these tools, this shit took me years, bro. This shit took me 6 years to get to this point. You get what I'm saying? Like 6 years of being on the charts every single day, logging, learning, trying again, going back. You know what I'm saying? Every emotion that you felt, I felt. You see what I'm saying? And so what happens is you can go in and boom, trust my trade, FGV, trust my gut. That's my lesson, right? AuraBot LSQ gave me 1 minute entry around session time kill after open. Liquidity swept, market open, divergence plus AuraBot signal retail. So now you can start and studying your trades. You can go back and start kind of studying your trades and seeing what works, what doesn't work, what time you took a loss, what days are better than others, right? And so you start building that catalog of your book of trades. And you can go back and log them, and that's how you can get better and stuff like that. And this has like a kind of like a smart AI agent. It kind of tells you some operator intel, some things you got to work on, stuff like that. So you can also change the colors. Like I told you before, I'm super into like visuals and cool stuff like that. So yeah, use this tool, guys. You can actually download this, put it on your iPhones. Just when you open it up on the browser and your iPhone, just add it as an app on your home page. It'll automatically, the instructions are on the instructions are here. So here it is. But yeah, guys, if nobody has any other questions, I think we're good. We went over a lot of stuff. We recorded everything, so that's good. Any last minute before I let you guys go for the night?
It's all that system, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Y'all.
Say what? Bitch, I ain't hear nothing you said, bitch.
Oh, hold on. Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
What's up? Oh, there we go. Bro, anyways, I have a rest. So I gained so much knowledge, twin. Gained so much knowledge.
Yeah, la.
Nah, for sure, man. I appreciate
Alright,
you
y'all.
you showing up, man. For sure, everybody, man.
I'm gonna show up every single day.
That's right, man. You got to be just like
Hey,
SGA.
you know what I saw too, Sis? How you implement every single thing in the course in the whole system. That shit was like amazing, bro. Like the liquidity and all that good stuff.
Definitely. I mean, that's where the system comes from, right? Essentially, is everything that I learned manually, like from the course and stuff like that. It's just that now we have the visual tools to go with that, right? And so it kind of makes trading a lot more fun and a lot easier and less stressful, right? That's why in my last video I was like, what you stressing for when you got the LSM on your chart? You get what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing to stress about.
Yeah.
Just trust the
That's
system.
that's more understanding how to trade too, because you find those key points and it helps you to successfully trade, you know?
Absolutely. But hey, I'm gonna let y'all go. But you already know what time it is, man. It's Aura season, bitch. We out.
I'm sorry.